let's try to make this a quick one. Taste test. That's good. I don't know if you saw in the little clip of when I was actually pulling the shot, there wasn't much water coming out, and I didn't realize that the espresso machine did not have water in it. So I had to quickly add some more and try to pull the shot again, and I don't want to waste my coffee grinds because I could have just made a new one, but I just decided to use what was already in there. If you make coffee with espresso machines, you know that that's not going to be the perfectly pulled shot. But you know what? We're here. It's still delicious and it's fine. We'll be fine. It's 4:40. And obviously it's already getting dark outside. Can you see out there? It's crazy. But it's a little bit darker now because it's been such a cold, snowy, dreary day. It was the first snowfall of the season where it actually was several inches on the ground, and it was so beautiful, as you would have seen in some of the clips that I got. But anyway, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new here. Really glad you stopped by to my little corner of booktube. And today's video is going to be the currently reading book tag. I saw Bailey's Bookshelf do it, and then the Writing Songbird. She's a new YouTuber. But I like her videos, so you should go subscribe to her, give her some followings, because she's very new, and we want to support each other and help all the channels grow. I'll have the channels linked down below. We're just going to go ahead and kick it off without too much rambling, because you know me, I tend to ramble in these tags because I'm just, talking. The first question is, how many books do you usually read at one time? So I used to have this thing where I would read multiple books at one time, but it was usually a nonfiction read. Basically, I usually tend to read at least 2 to 3 books at one time, but it's usually a nonfiction book and then maybe 2 fiction books. But the thing about the fiction books, they have to be so completely different, like different time periods, different storyline, different genre within the fiction books, so that the stories don't get mixed up in my head. So if the books would be similar, it would maybe tend to run together a little bit more, and I would get details mixed up between books. So I usually try to avoid that, but this month I've been trying to just read one book at a time, besides my nonfiction read that I just always have going on throughout the month. But yeah, this month I've just been sticking to reading one book, and I don't know if it's really helping me get more read, because I'm kind of getting stuck. All the other months I would have multiple books going at one time and I would get lots of reading done. This time I'm reading one at a time, and I tend to not read through more books as quickly because I'm a mood reader. And so depending how I'm feeling, I'm going to pick up this book or pick up the other book, whatever I'm feeling in the moment. So I'm not getting quite as much done this month as I thought I would. But because I'm doing the Historathon, I kind of feel like I have to read one book at a time to go through the prompts, Link the video up here somewhere so that you can go see that and what it's all about. But anyway, there's that. I usually have at least 3 to 4 at one time. Most times it's just 3. I try to keep it down to a little bit of a minimum, but yeah, it all just depends what mood I'm in. Okay, number 2. Sorry, Thanksgiving meal plans. I'm so excited. I love Thanksgiving. Anyway, it's number 2. If you're reading more than one book at a time, how do you decide when to switch to reading the other book? Or do you read a certain amount of pages in each book, etc.? So I just kind of explained that in for the last question. It really depends what mood I'm in. So for my nonfiction books, it's usually like Christian nonfiction, and so I tend to read those in the morning when I'm doing my quiet time / devotions. But it also depends, because if it's a really good one, I can usually sit down and just read it really quickly in just a couple days. And so if I'm really invested, I will usually gravitate to that one first. But then my nonfiction reads, I don't know, it just really depends what mood I'm in. Then I'll pick those up and start reading them. Question number 3, do you ever switch bookmarks while you're partway through a book? So, when I was younger, I didn't really have bookmarks, but if I would use a bookmark, I would just grab any kind of random thing that's beside me. A pencil, like if I was in school, if they're like pen or pencil, I would just stick it in the middle, or just a random scrap piece of paper, a tissue, a receipt, napkins, you know, name it. Anything that's close by that I could easily stick between the pages of my book, I was good to go. But I would also have this mental challenge of just remembering the page number that I was on, because I like to challenge myself mentally all the time. I really do. Like, it was just always, when I was younger, it was just more of a challenge to me. Remember the page number that you were on. And I did that fairly well, I should say. Now that I'm older, there's more things occupying my brain. It doesn't happen quite as often. I still try to do it, but I have started using bookmarks, and I just bought some new ones from the Curly Reader, which I'm gonna link her Etsy shop down below because she has the cutest bookmarks. So I just bought some from her recently, and I started using those. But for the most part, I never really liked bookmarks. But now that I'm older and, you know, not challenging myself as much mentally to remember the specific page numbers, I just use them. Makes it easier for me, you know? So there's that. But usually I just stick to whatever's around, or if I choose a specific bookmark, I will keep that one for the whole time that I'm reading the book. Anyway, number 4, where do you keep the book you're currently reading? Everywhere, with me. It goes with me. I don't leave it behind. So when I'm at home, it's probably just going to be sitting on the end table by the couch where I usually sit to read. Or if I'm doing tasks and I'm reading while I'm walking through the house, which I do that a lot, I just take it with me and set it down on the counter. If I'm washing dishes, and I'll pick it up again. Or if I'm cooking, it's there on the counter beside me, and I pick it up when there's a little break in the cooking process. Basically, the book just goes with me everywhere. I very rarely leave the house without taking my book with me as well. So I take the book with me to work so that I can read it in my break times and at lunchtime. If I'm going anywhere, even if I'm going to the grocery store and I'm taking my bag along with me, the book is going with me just in case there's ever a time that I want to be able to just read. You know, the book just goes with me everywhere. And then question number 5 is what time of day do you spend the most time reading? I would have to say it's definitely in the afternoon and evenings, because obviously I work during the day, Monday through Wednesday. And so I read a little bit when I can at break time, but obviously I'm working, so I can't focus a lot of time to reading. So usually when I come home, I shower because my work is a very dusty, dirty job. I usually shower, make myself a coffee, and I sit down and catch up on my booktube videos that people released, and then also do some reading. So it's usually in the afternoon and evening. And obviously I would get more reading done on the weekends because I don't work Thursday through Sunday, so yes. But then weekends can also fill up with tasks, like that's when I usually do my weekly cleaning in the house, and you know, it's usually when we get together with friends. So it varies, but usually I would say mid-afternoon, like from 3 to 5 before I need to start making supper or something. That's usually when I get the most reading done. Question number 6. How long do you typically read for in one go? See, again, it depends. So if I have a long to-do list for the day and I don't have time to just spend dedicated amounts of time to reading, I will usually do a task, I will complete a task, and then grab my book and read for like 5 minutes. If it's really good, maybe make it 10 minutes. If there are other things that I need to do to get done, I set it aside, go get the task done, and come back and read some more. If I have nothing to do, I can actually sit down and read a book straight for like 3-4 hours. I mean, maybe taking a few like snack breaks or water breaks or coffee breaks or bathroom breaks in between, but it really varies. I never have a set time to just sit down and read a book, unless it's really good. If it's one that I cannot put down and I have to finish it in one sitting, I will do that. It just depends. Question number 7. Do you read hardcovers with the dust jacket on or off? I used to just absolutely hate dust covers. I really prefer reading paperbacks. I used to also prefer reading hardcovers, but more recently I've just been really loving paperbacks. I think the reason that I always wanted to buy the hardcovers for books was because it just seemed like they would last longer, they wouldn't get damaged as quickly. But I really do love the feel of a floppy paperback, so I've kind of switched my stance on that and have been more into paperbacks. But hardcovers with dust jackets, I leave them on actually, unless they're like super loose and just sliding all over the place. It's very annoying, but I like to use the dust cover as a bookmark as well. So like I will tuck it into the pages and, you know, it's easy. I just leave it on. It doesn't really bother me that much. And question number 8, which position do you mainly use to read? Which position? Okay. Question number 8, which position do you mainly use to read? I'm usually just sitting on the couch with the footrest up. I don't very often lay down to read unless I'm reading in bed. Excuse me. And so then I'm obviously just laying on my side. But for the most part, I'm either in this chair or on the couch and sitting up reading, but usually like curled up on the side with my knees up. You know, just gotta get comfortable, or sit like cross-legged. I don't know. It's usually sitting on the couch. Question number 9. Do you take the book you're currently reading everywhere you go? Yes, I just said that for one of the other questions. My book, I can't say never because I do sometimes leave the house depending on what I'm doing. If it's a quick errand somewhere that I know that I'm not going to have any time whatsoever to read, I don't take a book with me. But for the most part, if I'm leaving the house, the book is going with me. I always have a bag big enough to carry a book inside it, and yeah, a book pretty much always goes with me wherever I go. Just because you never know if you're going to have to be waiting for something that you want to pull out your book. I don't want to be the person who's constantly pulling out their phone, although I do have that problem as well. I would just prefer to have a book on hand if I have some downtime, especially if there's lots of reading that I want to get done. So yes, a book goes with me pretty much everywhere. And question number 10. How often do you update your progress in your... I'm having trouble with this question as well. How often do you update your progress in your book you're currently reading on Goodreads? So if you're not familiar with Goodreads, it is an app to keep track of what you're reading, what you want to read, and you can update progress on a book and put the page number in, and it shows you what percentage of the way through the book that you are. And I really like that feature for it, for sure. And also it's a great place to get other recommendations from friends who are also using the app. For the most part, I update it every time that I sit down and read a section. It varies, because if I like just read 2 pages, like at work, if I'm on break and I get to read like 2 pages, 3 pages, depending, I don't update it then. But for the most part, if I'm sitting down for a while and I've read at least 10, 20 pages, I will go ahead and immediately update it, just because I like to see the percentage go up. But yeah, then sometimes I completely forget about it and don't update for a long time. So it's not really strict process for me, but usually I'll have my phone right beside me, so I'll pull it up, open the app, and update the progress just to keep track. And also sometimes if I'm not using a bookmark, I can just use my Goodreads to go see what the page was. So there's that. And then question number 11 is just to tag someone. I'm not really going to tag anyone. This was more just a fun idea to do, so if you're interested in doing this tag as well, go ahead and do it. I would just tag anyone who's following along and wants to do something like this, but it was really fun. I liked these questions. I really love doing the tags because it always brings up interesting questions, and it helps you learn more about the people, the fellow readers, and their habits and their procedures and their methods of reading, and so I always find them very interesting, and I love doing these videos. Also gives me something to do when I'm feeling a little bit uninspired to come up with something on my own, you know? So thanks for everyone who makes these tags. But I also wanted to give a little bit of a reading update and what I'm working on so far. I have not been doing very well with my November TBR. I've only read 4 books, and I'm halfway through the 5th book for the Historathon, and I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more books that we're going to be part of this historathon, but you know what, it's fine. I'm gonna try to finish the one book, the fifth book that I'm working on. Let me grab it. I'm currently working on A Heart Adrift. Yes, you guys have seen this through so many videos because I have not been getting it read, but now I am finally getting it read, and I will have to say I love Laura France, but for some reason this one just did not capture me right away in the beginning. But now that I'm halfway through, I'm thoroughly invested in the story. I absolutely love it, and I'm very invested in the characters and their love story, and things are getting interesting for sure. And like, I'm getting to the parts that I love about Laura France's writing, and just like everything. I don't really know why I was having such a hard time just getting into this book. Basically, the beginning of the book was just a little bit slow and hard for me to get into, but I'm very invested in the story now, and it is a second chance at love trope, which I absolutely love so much. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So I think Katie at Paperbacks and Ponytails is doing reading sprints tonight, and so I'm definitely jumping onto those so that I can get more reading done. But yes, this is the one that I'm currently reading. I will obviously do a reading wrap up at the end of the month to talk about the 4 other books that I've read so far. But yes, we're gonna try to get lots more done. I have at least 2 more weeks of November, so I should be able to get things done, but you know, Thanksgiving, holidays, and then there's family visiting. My friends from back home in Georgia are moving out here to Colorado, so it's gonna be really busy, but I'm still gonna try to get lots of reading done. So, you know, there is that little bit of a reading update in case anyone was interested. But anyway, I'm gonna sign off for now. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully next week. I'm gonna try to put out a video every week, but you know, never know what life's gonna hold and what is gonna happen, so it's not always possible. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and also tag me if you do this tag yourself, because I would love to watch all of them if you're doing these, because it's so much fun. Like I said, I love to get to know other readers and their methods and everything about them and what they're doing and all of the things, you know. Just tag me because I want to watch these videos. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.